Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is the 25th of March, and I am finally starting to do the first serious work on the Sprueverse challenge. I've had doodles. I've got pages of doodles. I don't know exactly what I'm going to doodle with these doodles yet, but I keep coming back to this idea. And there goes the camera. I keep coming back to this tripod idea. I don't know yet whether this tripod is a robot, whether it is a space station, whether it is a futuristic building, but I keep coming back to it, and this is where the starting point is. I am trying to keep things symmetrical because I am a creature of symmetry. I cannot stand when things are not symmetrical. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I am guesstimating the angles on the arms that I sanded. So this is kind of, I have a feeling by the time we're done I'm going to be contradicting myself a whole lot, but this is kind of where the start of it is, and where we go from here, frankly I don't know. But I think we're going to start here, and it's going to be I think it's going to end up being a freeform sculpture before we're done. Well, good morning. It's day 2 on the Sprueverse challenge, and yes, I am aware, I am distinctly aware that this looks very much like a bong. Completely accidental at this point, although I can tell you I really could use one. This is only a building block, but it took all night for the epoxy sculpt to set up. But we're going to progress on this. I'm working on my regular project at the same time, so as I get a break from that, I will come back to this, and I promise that when it's done, it will look significantly less bong-like. Okay, it's Wednesday afternoon, the 26th of March, and it looks a lot less like a bong. I think I have settled on it going to be a robot. It's going to be a robot, not a ship, not a space station. It's going to be a droid of some kind. Here we have the legs. I don't know exactly. These are going to be like hover panels. And then we've got a waist here that turns, the shoulders, and then the arms will come out here. It's mostly bipedal, with the exception of the 3 hover pads. The head is going to be inspired by the character of Helper from Venture Brothers. It's a long skinny head like this. I'm going to put it's not glued, it's going to fall if I don't care, if I'm not careful. I'm going to put an antenna on the top of it. Still have to figure out what kind of hands it's going to have and how the arms are going to be handled. But I've started looking at the other donor kit, which is this gun, for the parts that I'm going to use primarily to make up his face, but other things like, well, these might be his eyes and eyebrows, things like that. So I am starting to think about the other kit as well. I have to keep my mind focused on the K7 though for the majority of it. This is a video for the Sprueverse challenge specifically. I am working on the hands of my droid, which are going to be, well, they are 2 of the pods from the K7, but they are also going to have 3 fingers, or 2 fingers and a thumb, which are inspired by Wall-E's design. So I need to cut some of this sheet stock And that's what I am using the sheet stock for, is to fabricate the fingers. Let's see, I need to have, I need to cut 1 inch of this off. And because this piece is so bloody thick, I've got to use the big mat knife with the big thick blade. And oh, now look at that. Well, see, that was wrong. It's not even, it's not 1 inch, but I am tapering these fingers, so that actually does work. It's not how I would have done it. It's not how I should have done it, but I'll go ahead and do another one, because I need to cut. Come on. Just go ahead and mark these lines. And then this taper should match front and back. So let's get this cut. And the trick is going to be to cut these and then piece them together. Use a lot of the MEK to glue them, and then maybe fill in the sides with some epoxy sculpt. But now we've got 2 mirrored pieces, and they still didn't cut very evenly. Man, my marking skills are whack. So what I want to do is cut something here, and cut the short side of that. That'll help. That way each cut isn't that long. See, I'm trying to mark this out. Mark this out on the cardstock. And it should be 4, on either side. There we go. Now we've got 1 inch. I don't have a, well, that's a lie. I do have a small small table saw, but it's easier just to trim these guys without it. Okay, we're clumsy because we're still in the refinement stage, but I think I've got something that is workable, at least when it comes to doing the thumb and fingers. This is the left hand, so imagine that is the hand, and then we have a finger going that way, and then we'll have another finger going that way. So we'll have a thumb and 2 fingers on each hand, and then this will clip over the black coil cord. Good morning, everybody. It is April 7th, and just look at this mess. This is a this is a video for the Sprueverse challenge build. It's Monday morning. I spent the weekend working on the hands and trying to figure the best way to do the fingers, and believe me, I ran through quite a few prototype fingers before I figured out the best way to do it, which was to do them all in a line and then cut them individually. I was making a bunch of these things where you had 2 pieces and a tube between them, just like this, and they weren't coming out even, and I didn't like them, and bleh. So I decided to try them in, like I said, in a series where I took the I'll make a larger version of it here. I'll take a piece of the stock and the tube and do this for a very long piece, and then cut them individual fingers out of it after I had them all glued together, and that at least made sure, that's an exploded version of them, that at least made sure that they would be nice and consistent. And what I got, I think, came out okay. Then I epoxied them down, glued them down to the halves of the smaller K7 pods that I'm using for the hands. And then after that, I took some epoxy sculpt and kind of filled in the gaps where, you know, where the rubber met the road and there was a gap or a hole. I just went in with some epoxy sculpt and re-sculpted them in. So this is what the left hand looks like. And this is what the right hand looks like, but it doesn't know what the left hand is doing. Let me find the remains of the right hand. Here it is, it's over here. The right hand will look like this. And today I'm figuring out the best way to fit them to the elbow, or the elbows and the shoulders. The thing I was struggling with is that these are getting to be quite weighty. They're heavy, and these wimpy little coverings, this stuff that I was using, which is basically wire wrap, was never going to hold the weight. So what I've decided to do is to make a skeleton out of tube stock, and then just simply cover this over after I have put it on it. That gives me the look that I want, but the structure of having the inside tubing on here. And like this is the left, if that's the right arm, I can use that the circle there, the ball, as the joint, and then glue that however I need to glue it, and then cover over the skeleton, if it were as it is, with the with that wire wrap. So that's where I'm at. Morning, I'm going to finish up these arms, get the hands glued together, and then once those are nice and sanded, I can glue them to the arms and find out their final positioning, and we can go from there. Okay, it's Saturday. It is the day before Easter. The Sprueverse challenge is due next Thursday. Still not done yet. I've even decided to add another character to this. Just a question of, can I get it done in time? Can I get my brain wrapped around what I've got to do? Now, I've got the legs as such as they are. They feature a light up feature, so I am there you go. I got light up features for the legs. They are in universe, they would be some sort of propulsion, some hovering ability. And then we've got the figure as for the rest of them, sits on top of this ball like that. Got the eyes put in this morning. That was the important thing. I think he's really come to life now that he's got a set of peepers. And we'll put that back down. And I'm looking at the parts that I've got left over, and I realize I have space to make a pet. So I think we're going to make some sort of futuristic looking robot animal with some of the leftover parts that he can have next to him, he or she. We can use these to make some ears or other spacey looking appendages. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I am thinking on what parts are done, what parts are still need to be addressed. I am very happy with these arms. I think we're good with them. I need to put the cord wrap back over top of the lengths of the does that go there or not? I may have that on the wrong arm. But these were meant to go over top of the arm segments. The reason I painted them black underneath was just to hide the gap, because these don't fill out the whole length. Let me see. There we go. That one goes there. So let's get them put back in place. I still have to put a lot of the greeblies on from the gun. And the problem with the gun is it's completely different in scale and style to the K7. And the whimsical nature of the robot here really doesn't call for that hard-edged, the greeblies that were on the big gun. Now I have, that doesn't go there. I have made allowances that were a lot of the pieces that make up his face are out of that gun, and I've tried as I can to make those fit. Get back on there. Okay, we're going to set you back on your ball. Okay, now we're going to put this back on your arm as it's supposed to go. Yeah, that goes like that. And there goes the head all over the place. Afternoon, it is Easter Sunday. I've just got back from services, and amongst the many things I prayed for was an end to this project. I am trying to get, it is Easter Sunday, like I said. This thing is due in 4 days. I have to unveil it. I'm still deciding on final details, final greebly details, and then the final paint job. I want to put some rust and some aging on it, like it was a slightly abandoned robot, or a robot who has gone beyond his original owner and has outlived his original owner. I'm not going to say why, but outlived his original owner and is kind of discovering his own joy for life by himself. He's got his companion, his pet, next to him. Now this is something I put together yesterday. I kind of like just I don't know, is it a cat, is it a dog? We don't know. It's a robot. So I'm happy with all the details that I've got on his face. I'm done with that. I'm deciding on final paint job and the amount of rust and weathering. I'm happy with his hover feet. The hover feet are here. Of course, I've got the lights in the hover feet. We've got a hover feet. We've got the robot sitting on top of the hover feet. We've got his little pet yipping beside him. And he's going to be like this. Now the head is constantly falling off. I've got to, and every time it falls off, I'm convinced I'm going to break some detail. And I finally got my wish this time. I've lost his eyebrow. Where did it go? I need to glue it back on. So, yeah, I need to clean some of this stuff off the table. It is becoming quite a distraction. Let's get that out of here. Let's get that out of here. Come on, where did that part go? It was something I was rather proud of. I need to keep it, I need to find it, and I need to put it back on. So, let me turn the camera off, do some cleaning, and hopefully we'll be right back. Ain't that a mess? Yes, I know, I've done this on purpose. It's called rusting. I'm putting a bunch of rust texture underneath the paint. I'm going to put chipping medium over top of that, and then I'm going to paint over top of it again. And then we're going to chip the paint off. Hopefully, this is the technique that I've always wanted to try. All of the times that I have put rust on before, I just left it on as surface rust. And this time I want to try to do it with the actual chipping medium to see how that will turn out. So I have rusted up both Rusty the Robot and his Cyber Pig. And there we go. Put the eyeball into Cyber Pig. And we're going to go from there, but we're going to let this sit all day, and then I'm going to douse everything with the chipping medium, which is, let me find it. I know I've got it. That's the varnish, that's the varnish. I know I've got the chipping medium here. I'll just have to find it. I know I've got it. But we're going to put chipping medium over everything, and then we're going to see how well we can do with that technique. Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. It is The Monday of the reveal of the Sprueverse challenge, and I am still working. What I've done this morning is to go over everything with a top coat that is over top of the chipping medium. I did a top coat of the teal. I did a top coat of the yellowish beige. I did a top coat of the green blue. I did a top coat of the gray. And we're letting that sit because that is sitting on top of chipping medium now. We're going to let that dry, and then we're going to come back and see how the chipping goes. I have got the face all more or less finished. He's ready to go. Painted in his eyeballs. And I'll do some silver accents on the pipe work after everything else is done, because I want that to be nice and obvious and clean. And not, well, you know, nice and bright and chrome and not rusted. And of course we have the Cyber Pig here. I know it looks a bit like a cat, but it's a cat pig. Kind of Futurama-ish, kind of Electric State-ish, kind of Robots-ish, and that's kind of the amalgam of universe that I'm going for. And we're going to start on round 2 on the chipping. I don't know what I'm doing. I put the chipping solution on. I put another coat of paint on. I let that coat of paint dry. I got out some water and a stiff brush like you're supposed to reveal some of the chipping, and it went straight down almost to primer. It took everything off. So I have a feeling I missed a vital step in there somewhere, so I repainted everything. And then I sealed it, put a clear sealer over it. And then I painted the rust paint back on, and I'm going to seal this again too before I go on with the next round of chipping medium. I think I will seal this in to make sure that next time I chip something away, it only goes so far. So let me take this back. I'm sorry I'm out of breath. You hear me winded because this was the first yard mowing of the year, and I'm taking it in stages, little by little. I'm getting to the age where I don't want to do all this by myself anymore, and I'm actually drafted. I saw a young gentleman who was working on the neighbor's yard, and I immediately poached him. Not that I put him in hot water like an egg, but I said, how much are you charging to do this yard? He gave me a price, and I basically doubled it and said, come do my yard next. So he is going to be on his way very soon. I got some of the more detail-y stuff done. I got like around the buildings and around the bushes and trees and stuff, but the wide open spaces he's going to tackle because he's got a riding lawnmower, and I think this may be the year that I get a riding lawnmower. This pushing a mower around is for a younger man. But I say all that to say this. I'm very tired and winded, but I'm also feeling it's that good tired because it's the you're getting stuff done type of tired. But that has got the rust coat on it. I am going to give that a little bit more time, and then we're going to clear coat that rust, and then we'll end the day with the chipping medium and let that dry overnight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been months in the making, but I think we're done. I think we are done with the Sprueverse challenge, and I'd like to introduce to you Rusty the robot and Manfred, his flying cyber cat pig. And because I can't really make them levitate, I put them on these clear tubes to bring him up to Rusty's waist level. But I think that's it. Using not one but 2 K7 space stations, and as much of the artillery piece as I could. And then the only things I added were these balls and these bits of plastic tubing. Everything else is straight out of the model kits. He is in the cross between the robots universe and the electric state universe. That's kind of where he comes from. And the mighty, and I left a little bit of posability here so that I could have him roll his eye when needed. And there you go. Sprueverse Challenge 2025. Oops, one thing I can do that I haven't done for this picture is I need to light up Rusty's feet. Okay, something embarrassing didn't happen. I was afraid I was gonna, because I had to pry the bottom ball apart, but there you go. There's Rusty's light up feet. And there you go. Oh, I really should get the turntable out so that I can put Rusty on the turntable and give him the full model treatment. Okay, so we pull back to here, and then I can spin him around. Now you can see all the wonder and glory. There was the last bit of the artillery piece that I had to try to fit on there. But he's got slightly hoverable feet. He doesn't hover quite as much as Manfred does. But there you go. And these are the K7 base, top and bottom, or the two bases. And this is why I needed two of them, because I wanted to do even shoulders. And then we have 3 of the pads down here for his hover pads. We've got 2 more halves over here for Manfred, and then we've got the other 2 halves, or 2 more halves for his hands. Used a lot of the stock material, the sheet stock material, to make up the fingers. Also used a lot of it as painting, edging. So if I had to cut a shape and I wanted to get paint around an edge, I used a lot of the sheet stock to cut up for that. Here's some more of the artillery pieces. Artillery pieces there and there. And then Manfred uses the other 2 domes, or 2 of the smaller domes. I used 3 small domes for the thrusters on his feet. That's 3 of the those are the black rings that were in the box, plus 3 of the K7 domes. And then we have 2 more of the K7 domes, since I had 6 to begin with, and then I've got 1 left over. Used the big K7 dome on the top here. I used the other big K7 dome for Manfred's tail. But he sits on top of posts like that. And that is the mighty Sprueverse Challenge for 2025, and I can say from the bottom of my heart, I never want to have to do this again. And here he is, Rusty the Robot, and his faithful sidekick Manfred the Wonder Pig. Wanted to bring him outside in the light of day to give him a quick, let me see if I pull all the way back, you can see him that way. There you go. And then I can do a little spin on the, so you can see from the side, got that kind of the Bigfoot stance there. And from the back. And from the other side. And of course Manfred just looks the same no matter what. Now I made that eye so that I could reposition it should I want to. There you go. Say goodbye to the good people.